Hey everyone, the Flying Holucha here, and by the title of the video you can tell that I will be rating Satoshi Kon's work from all 5 of his works from 5 to 1. Now, it is very sad and unfortunate that Mr. Satoshi Kon passed away back in 2010, and these were the only 5 works that he was really known for. I think he was a writer for one of the short films in Memories, which is a 1995 anime, which is never released in English, but it soon will be. But he was one of the writers for one of them called Stink Bomb, which is one of the stories in there. There's like 3 stories. He was one of the writers, but he wasn't a director, so you can't really count that as one of his works. But yeah, he was an amazing director. He directed 1 TV series and 4 movies. And his final movie was Paprika. I've heard it came out in 2006, but I haven't really, researched as much, but every time I type on YouTube, it always comes up 2006, but it's very sad that he passed away, but his works will inspire people and always live on for people to see in the future and look back on, because his works were a masterpiece. He hasn't even got one bad film or series, really. They're all so good. Let me just put it this way. I enjoyed it. I never got bored. But yeah, I'm going to rate all his works, all his legacy from 5 to 1. So without any further ado, let's do this. In the number 5 spot, we have Paprika. Now, this may surprise some of you, as this is his recent release, which came out, I think, 2006, was it? It'll say on the back here. Yeah, there you go, Madhouse 2006. I thought it was coming out in 2010, but I was wrong. But, yeah, I got it quite cheap, the Blu-ray. I got it quite cheap, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the others. It was a great film. I mean, the characters were pretty engaging. I didn't like the old guy in the wheelchair or the electronic chair he has. It was weird. His character was too eerie and creepy. I didn't like his character. The main character was just overweight. I mean, he kept eating and eating, which is never a good thing, because when you're eating yourself into an early grave. It's very, very sad to see that, but she loves him all the same, even though sometimes she shouts at him. What character am I talking about? She's not on the back. She's not even on the Blu-ray, unfortunately, but it's a really good film. It was always, obviously the picture's going to look better than the rest of his works, because this is the recent one. This was the last film he ever made before he unfortunately passed away, but I didn't get as much enjoyment out of this as his previous works. There were so many similarities, though, to his previous works. Nearly every single one of his works at least got a cameo. But let me tell you the similarities, like one by one. Okay, so one of the similarities, as you can see in the pictures on the right, is the scene. Do you remember from Perfect Blue, where Mima, I think her alter ego, the pop star Mima, is sort of jumping. She hops and skips and jumps and sort of thing. It really creeped me out when I first saw it. But on the top right, that is Paprika, and on the bottom right is Perfect Blue. So it's very, very similar. And it's like, I was watching it going, wait, haven't I seen that scene from Perfect Blue? That's really, really weird. I was like, nah, I've seen that somewhere before, except Perfect Blue's more eerie because she sort of glows, whereas in Paprika, she just, I don't know, she's sort of just jumping over the zebra crossing. But that was one similarity from Paprika. The other similarity is from the Tokyo Godfathers film. There's a part where the 2 old men are jumping off the roof, and they have what seems to be like a banner, like it's like, I can't explain it, but you can see it in the pictures. Top right is Tokyo Godfathers, and the bottom right is Paprika. But yeah, in the bottom right, Paprika, you can see the two old men sort of jumping, and they're using the banister to, prevent themselves from going splat on the floor. But as you see the top right, Tokyo Godfathers actually had a scene where they jumped off a building, and also like the wind sort of saved the transvestite from Tokyo Godfathers from plunging to her death. But yeah, I mean, two scenes that are very similar in many ways. So not only Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers have similarities, the others do as well. I mean, there's also a scene from Millennium Actress. There is a scene where he's sort of pushing her on, I think it's not a wheelbarrow, it's like a carriage, yeah, it's like a carriage, but instead of a horse pulling it, it's the man pulling it. And what happens is he trips over, and the carriage goes over him, and then the girl's looking quite surprised, and all of a sudden you see the scene just changes from her in the carriage to her riding a bicycle, but she's literally in the kimono this time. I think she was in the kimono while she was on the carriage, but she changes. So a costume changes. Well, a clothes change. So you're watching it, you're like, wait a minute, she was just in this scene, now she's in another scene? It just happens like that. Now, if you see the pictures, both pictures are from Millennium Actress. As you can see the pictures, yeah, that the first one on the top right is when she's in the carriage, and literally the bottom right corner is like 2 seconds afterwards where she changes character. It's like really, really clever. And then on the right again, this is a scene from Paprika where she's running from this other guy. I can't remember his name, but she's running from him. She runs into the painting, and she changes her character to like a hybrid of some animal with wings. But it's very similar to Millennium Actress. The fact that she changes character. It's like, yeah, Paprika, Millennium Actress. There's more similarities between these two films than the rest of them, but I thought this was really clever as well. Another similarity is from Paranoia Agent. Do you remember this scene where the little girl is, she's the main character, I can't remember her name. She is the creator of the little, the weird looking thing. Mayomi or something, that's it, this character right here. She's sort of standing on top of like a building about to commit suicide, but she's laughing in the intro. And in Paprika, you've got these guys that are sort of smiling and laughing, and then they put the hand up. As you can see, the pictures on the right. These two pictures are very similar, and the way the landscape and the buildings have been animated is very similar as well, which I thought was really clever. So he's getting every single film and even the series in his final works, Paprika. It's as if, I'm not saying he knew he was about to die, but it's just his final film was sort of a farewell, and a sort of, you've seen my previous films, here are little clips of my previous films, and, well, yeah, this is my new film. But that's very clever. I thought what he did there was fantastic in a way. After you spot these little details, they're there for a split second and they're gone. But some of them are longer than others. But this film was definitely enjoyable. I mean, 100%. Now, another thing I want to talk about Paprika is, well, everyone saw it and just gasped when they saw it. It's the final scene where the man goes into the theatre, or we say cinema. We say theatres as well. But theatres are different. I think you watch people portraying character, whereas in the cinema you just see it on a big screen. But yeah, you see him, he goes, 1 ticket please. He doesn't want to watch Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, or Tokyo Godfathers. No, he just wants to watch a different film. But it's just clever, the fact that they're all showing at the same time. It's just, I watched it and I went, there we go. It wouldn't make sense that Satoshi Kon was like, I'm going to pass away soon, let me just, put all my films in my final film, because he was planning on a film called Dreaming Machine, which unfortunately was cancelled because he passed away, and without Satoshi Kon, behind it, it could never come to light. It's sort of like the unfortunate death of the Berserk creator. I can't remember his name, I'm not good with Japanese names. But it's kind of sad. He passed away on the 6th of May, but they didn't tell us until about a week or two later. But Satoshi Kon, uh, yeah, he was trying to make Dreaming Machine. You Google that, but unfortunately, we never know if that will be released or not. But that's a big shame. But yeah, to to have the very end, all his previous films to be in the end of the film, I thought was very clever. But unfortunately, I didn't get as much enjoyment out of this film. Not saying it's bad, it was still enjoyable. I mean, the animation, the way, it was sort of reminded me of Spirited Away. The scene where he's running down the corridor and the floor sort of changing, and the sort of corridor where the character in Spirited Away is sort of thrown in a way, but she still goes really fast down the corridor. But yeah, very clever film. I think Paprika is definitely amongst one of the best out there, but unfortunately not Satoshi Kon's best work. It's my opinion, but I'm sorry, it's just unfortunate. But yeah, Paprika comes in the number 5 spot. In the number 4 spot, we have Tokyo Godfathers. Now, this is so irritating, as in England, we only have the Japanese version, because if I can remember, Tokyo Godfathers was only recently dubbed. I think it was dubbed in 2019 or something like that. It will say on the back, won't it? It came out in 2003, but wasn't dubbed until... I can't tell. I'm not going to research it now, but it was thankfully licensed by G Kids in America, but yeah, we don't have it, unfortunately. In the UK, we have the Japanese version of Tokyo Godfathers with English subtitles. So I had to get this shipped over from America, which is trash, because their Blu-ray case is so thin. I bought it 4 times and it broke every single time. It also pisses me off that some people in the review section who were reviewing it actually got the sleeve with theirs. Whereas when I bought it like 4 times, I never got the sleeve of it, which really annoyed me. And the 4th time I bought it, it arrived like good condition. But even then when I put it in storage, I checked a day later, and I found a little crack, which just broke after like 5 minutes of me holding it. This isn't the original Blu-ray case. I got like a proper bigger case because my friend... This case is original to the Piranha film. The Piranha DD or Double D, I don't know. But my friend let me have this case after persuading him, saying, bruh, your Piranha ain't worth shit. It ain't worth, crap, mate. Just give me the case. And he's like, oh, fine. So this Blu-ray case belongs to Piranha, hence the reason it's a little fatter. But, yeah. Shame I don't have the sleeve, but I have a sturdy Blu-ray case now, which for some reason America doesn't have for Tokyo Godfathers. But this is, yeah, Region A. I've got a multi-region Blu-ray player. So this has the English version, whereas unfortunately the Japanese version does not. Sorry, the American version has the English dub, where unfortunately the UK version does not. There we go, I sorted it out. But Tokyo Godfathers, another really good film. It's not as, gripping as such as films like Perfect Blue or Millennium Actress, but I got some enjoyment. The voice cast was just really well done for the English dub. I tell you now, the transvestite actually is voiced by a transvestite. So it's a man who wants to be a woman in the film, and also the person that voices him is a man that wants to be a woman, like transitioning. But yeah, if you actually bought this and look at the interview, you'll see. And I thought, wow, to have someone that's actually transitioning, I thought was really, really nice for them to do. To actually have someone experiencing it for the first time in animation. I think that was the first animation that person or that actor had actually done animation wise. So, but yeah, first ever voice acting for Japanese anime. But yeah, all the characters were good. There were some sad scenes in it, especially when they're on the streets and she's coughing up blood. It's really sad. Yeah, there's a breastfeeding in it, but then again, there's breastfeeding in yeah, what's it? The Princess something of Studio Ghibli films. It's not Princess Mononoke, is it? Nah, it's not that. It's a Princess Kaguya. That's it. There's a breast feeding scene in that as well. But I think this is 12 in England. What does it say here in the back? PG-13. But yeah, it's a really good film. I really enjoyed it, but it's better than Paprika because I related with the characters more. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but it was still enjoyable. I think the only thing that got me through it was probably the voice acting, but the fact that they live on the streets and how hard it was for them and the way they're treated because they smell, and the people on the train, would never even trying to hide the fact they were just making it so obvious that they didn't, welcome them on the train. It's really sad. You see their backstories. She was performing in a bar. He just completely ruined his life. I can't remember. He said he was working at a gambling shop or something. I think that's what he said. But turns out he just gambled all his money in the gambling shop. So this girl stabbed her father, I think, because he was annoying her at some point. But she's constantly running from her father. The fact it's all Christmassy makes this film good as well. But a lot of people love this film. It's amongst their favourite films. I mean, the Glass Reflection, the guy called Okada said this was one of the best Satoshi Kon movies, but 2003 it came out on DVD at one point. It was so rare to get Tokyo Godfathers on DVD. I think Millennium Actress was even harder. But to have it on Blu-ray now is just fantastic. I think I paid like 20 or quid. Like I said, replace the Blu-ray case because, well, the original Blu-ray case is crap. But here's the info. If you want to read it. While I'm at it, I didn't show you the info to Paprika either, did I? So, yeah. There you go. It's enough of that. But Tokyo Godfathers, I really felt for the characters because of how hard it was for them to live on the streets and the way they were treated. The hobo, what's the thing in Gantz? The hobo hunters or something, where they just beat up homeless people because either they hate them or they feel that they won't fight back and that they won't really get a lawsuit on them because the homeless person has no lawyers or whatever. The backstory of hobo hunting. We don't have that in the United Kingdom, where we just have people, being nasty to homeless people in the streets. But yeah, it's a terrifying thought of being homeless. A lot more people being homeless due to the coronavirus, which is really sad. The government need to do something about it. They're trying, but it's very unfortunate. But yeah, I guarantee watch this in the English version. It's so good. The fact that the UK don't have it in English is because we released ours in like 2018, around the same time America released theirs. But then America released it again in like 2019 because we released it before the dub had even come out, same as England. I'm sorry, UK released it the same time as America before the dub had been released. But then when the dub had been released, America released it again. So, yeah, the only way you can get it, you can't get the Australian release with the dub. You can't get the UK release with the dub. It's only the American release. And people that usually buy this will only buy it for the DVD because multi-region DVD players are pretty cheap to get. But they won't be able to watch it on Blu-ray because they ain't got a multi-region Blu-ray player. But yeah, just watch this on Blu-ray. It's fantastic the way it brings it to life. But I'm sorry, Tokyo Godfathers takes the 4th spot. It's better than Paprika story-wise, but it's still a heartwarming film. I guarantee you watch it on Christmas and you'll enjoy it. But it's not a bad film. None of his films are bad. None of his series are bad. But unfortunately, it takes the number 4 spot. In the number 3 spot. In the number 3 spot we have Paranoia Agent, which I just recently got on Blu-ray. Finally, it's uncut. Finally, it's on Blu-ray. You want to see the review of that? Link in the description below. If you want to see the original DVD version, which I sold, link in the description below. But yeah, this series is really good. I really enjoyed this series. It is his only series he made before he passed away. Yeah, it's just wow. The fact that Lil Slugger, there's two of them or something. One of them dies, but then another one's still going around or something like that. But yeah, there were some gripping scenes. I mean, I didn't like the fact that he keeps pretending to be a superhero. When they're interrogating him, he just ignored everything they said to him, and then he pretended to be a superhero. And that I was just watching that going, stop. I want to know why you keep bashing these people. But some people, they said when he hit him around the head, he actually made them better for some reason. The kid, I think, it was the kid, he hit him, and then the kid was like, he feels better afterwards or something, like, Lil Slugger cured me or something like that. But there's another good scene in the picture on the right, where the guy's in the car and Lil Slugger's, like, coming really fast behind him and, like, roller skates, which is impossible, but the way his face goes up against the window. But this is going for like £37 on Amazon. I think £35 on MVM. I got it for 30 quid, like pre-order offer. But it's really expensive. And originally, getting Satoshi Kon's Paranoia Agent on DVD was really hard. But this was his only series. I think it has 12, 13 episodes. How many episodes does it have? Come on. You know what? I can't be bothered. I think it has, there we go, 13 episodes in total. Just like Perfect Blue, it is an 18. I think the lowest rated age rating is Millennium Actress that got a PG in United Kingdom. But Godfather's got a 12 in United Kingdom. That's age ratings, ladies and gentlemen. I think our age ratings are better than America's. They're just more straightforward. But yeah, there's so many different characters. It's not just focusing on one. Lil Slugger, I wouldn't say he's the main character because the girl she's in more episodes than he is. I think she is. I think he might be in more than her, might be one more, but she gets more engagement than he does anyway. I don't think Lil Slugger or the girl is in Happy Day Outing. You know the scene where, I can't remember what it's called, watch my video, when they all meet up together to commit suicide and the two guys are like, this is a little girl here, why is she committing suicide as well? He's like, damn, we never thought we'd actually meet up with a child, and they actually tried to get rid of her. They actually tried to, not get rid of her as kill her, they tried to lose her, you know, because they don't want her to commit suicide, but in the end, they all try and do it, but fail miserably. It's really enjoyable to watch, but sad at the same time. Not the fact that it commits suicide, that ain't enjoyable, but it's just, you know, the way the characters talk to one another, just, I really felt engaged with them. But Paranoia Agent will not be as good as Millennium Actress or Perfect Blue, which are coming up which are coming up next. But yeah, the voice actor for, what is it? Not this guy with the goggles right here. Wow, I loved his voice acting. I can't remember who he voiced. I think he was the same guy from Steins Gate. Okari. Oh, I can remember his Ocarine or something. No, that's the girl. Oh, I can't remember his name in Steins Gate. But yeah, I think he's the voice actor for the character with the goggles. Lil Slugger's voice actor is pretty good as well. But Lil Slugger's pretty eerie, but I just don't understand that he dies in a cell, but he doesn't die in a cell. And then the funny scene where the old woman, I think it's the old woman, she's banging on about a life story, a life story. And Lil Slugger's getting really angry, and he's just thumping the floor, just thumping the walls and shit. And I was watching it, I was like, bro, he's gonna hit you. But he never did. He was like a big, massive, monster-looking thing with like razor-sharp teeth. And he just kept thumping it because he's like, have you seen that film with Hitler in it, where he's sitting around a table with all the women talking, and he's sitting there like, kill me now, this is torture. Like if you've seen that film, I haven't, but it made me laugh the fact that Hitler was sitting around this table with all these women gossiping about, I don't know what women gossip about, but we've all been there at some point. But yeah, it's the same scene with Lil Slugger, the monster Lil Slugger, when he's just like, I don't give a shit about your life story. He doesn't say anything. He just starts grunting and thumping his bent baseball bat. In Japanese, he's Shaolin Bat, which sounds really stupid. but Little Slugger sounds better. But yeah, this is really enjoyable. There's a very sinister tone to this film. It's not as scary as Perfect Blue, but it's still very gripping, very, thriller. I keep stuttering. It's very thriller. Whatever, you know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying. But any other characters? Yeah, this character here, I think she's a prostitute because she keeps changing her identity so that people don't know who she really is. She was quite an engaging character. I think she's involved in a sex scene as well with this fat guy who's just, I don't know, he's a weird guy. But that kid, he's always overshadowed by another kid, and he doesn't like it, and so he wishes for Little Slugger to knock him out or kill him or whatever. And he does, but then this kid gets his comeuppance as well. And then this guy here, he's trying to catch Little Slugger, but then I think he gets fired or he retires or something. Then he goes on to another job. But to watch it on Blu-ray is fantastic. I really, really like the Blu-ray version better than the DVD. Well, most people do. But Paranoia Agent, definitely a series you should watch and consider watching. Like I said, there's different stories. They're not just just him all the time. It's just different things going on, and you're kind of confused. But then you get invested in the series, and you're just like, well, I can't understand it, but at the same time, I don't. It's a really, really well done film. It was series. Sorry, it came before Paprika. That's all I know. It was Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, then Paranoia Agent, then Paprika. But they never actually they never actually show Paranoia Agent in Paprika, but they, hint it, like the scene that I just showed you with them on the roof and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, it takes the number 3 spot. It just missed out on the top 2 spots, but Paranoia Agent, hell of an anime. The intro is brilliant. It goes, it's weird because they're laughing, but it's sad because they're all trying to commit suicide. One guy, explodes, some flipping nuke goes off, and they're laughing. One person's drowning, one person's in, wreckage, and they're laughing, but very sinister intro, but one of the best intros as well. But yeah, Paranoia Agent, a classic, takes the number 3 spot. Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. Whichever one you see next will be the runner-up. And I'm going to surprise you. The number 2 spot goes to Perfect Blue. That means Millennium Actress is number 1. But I watched these 2 films, and Perfect Blue is just, whenever you talk about horror, Perfect Blue is up there as number 1. Perfect Blue was so scary at times. There's a lot of gore, there's a rape scene, is there bad language? I can't remember. Does it say there's bad language? Strong violence, nudity, and language. Can't remember the language in it, but it's basically about a guy who stalks her throughout the entire film. He's like a hardcore fan, and he loved her as a pop idol memer, but she didn't want to be a pop idol. She wanted to be an actress, but unfortunately, she's not a porn actress, but she takes a role as one, and it's very uncomfortable watching it. The scene, you can see that the screams and the cries are actually real. And the people in the acting just shrug it off as, oh, she's doing a really good acting job. But you could see it unsettled her. There's so many scenes in a Perfect Blue which have been adapted in other films as well. The scene where she's in the bath. So the bath scene where she's screaming in the bath was also used in this film on the right. I can't remember the name of the film because I haven't watched it. But yeah, that scene. was being in the film, and it was taken from Perfect Blue. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think they actually asked Perfect Blue if they could sort of use that scene in their film. But there's also another scene. There's another scene where she's in the crowd, where she has her arms out, and there's another film that is very similar to that as well. So there's pictures on the right. But yeah, so many anime like films and stuff like Ghost in the Shell, for instance. Matrix was inspired by Ghost in the Shell. But then there's certain scenes in a... No, Ghost in the Shell came out in 95. Matrix came out in 99, wasn't it? Yeah, there are loads and loads of scenes that Matrix copies from Ghost in the Shell. The running scene through like the market, the pixelated green words from not Perfect Blue, from Ghost in the Shell. You know, it's fantastic the way people don't like anime. Some people, just adults mainly, don't like anime. But adults that grew up watching like Gundam, the old 70s anime that I can't stand, watching Dragon Ball, you know, they grow to love anime, which you all should, because anime is just fantastic. Big up anime. But Perfect Blue, there's a scene, I think on the DVD front cover, it looks like she's being tortured in a way. It looks like her hands are like tied up, and she's being tortured, sort of like the Jesus Christ, the film with Jesus in it. I can't believe I've forgotten the name of that now. The Passion of the Christ, that's it. People thought the Passion of the Christ scene where he's on the cross and the Perfect Blue front cover look very similar. But it isn't. It's just her stabbing this guy. So it's very misleading, the front cover, like the poster for Perfect Blue. But I tell you now, she wasn't tied up and being tortured. She was just ready to plunge a knife into this guy. But it's very misleading, but he's very clever at the same time. This is a scene where I think she looks through the fish tank. She looks very different there. She's looking through the fish tank. Not a very memorable scene, but there's also a collector's edition of this, a steelbook, and an ultimate edition. I really need the standard Blu-ray. That's pretty much all I need, really. I'm not too fussed about getting it. You know, getting the ultimate, the collector's, or the steelbook, but still a really, really interesting and engaging film. Number 1 horror of all time. No horror film anime comes close to it. It's just an 18 for a reason. There's nudity in it, like full-on frontal nudity. There's the rape scene. Like I said, she's never comfortable with it, but she gives her consent. I don't think he's actually raping her, but you need to watch the film. You need to watch the film. But it's so confusing. It's like Paranoia Agent in a way. It's like, I wouldn't say Paprika, because Paprika, just the plot was just, to me, wasn't that good. But, yeah, Perfect Blue, Serial Experiments Lane, Paranoia Agent has that sort of technolized as well. It's a mind fuck, you know, you're just watching it going, what the hell am I watching? Like the end of Evangelion, you don't understand what you're watching. And when you finish that film, you're like, okay, I'm in the real world again. That's how I felt after watching that. But Perfect Blue, a lot of people cannot describe or explain what was going on, because the stalker, for some reason, at the very end of the film, spoilers, skip ahead about maybe 10 seconds, but yeah, it turns out that is all part of the acting, because when she stabs him, everyone starts clapping, and yeah, it's like, was it real or was it not? Was she getting stalked or not? But it's kind of explained at the end. Perfect Blue will always be Satoshi Kon's most famous film of all time, but to me, it wasn't the most enjoyable film for me, even though it was really, really good. To me, it was never as good as Millennium Actress. Millennium Actress was god tier. Millennium Actress was, oh god, I loved every second of it. I thought it was so well done. But so was Perfect Blue as well. Satoshi Kon's first ever anime that he worked on. Well, the first anime he worked on was Memories, but he was a co-writer, you know, for the story Stink Bomb. It's not the first one anime-wise he worked on, but it's the first one he directed, the first one he made. is what I'm talking about. I think it came out in 1998 or 1997. There we go. It came out in 1997, but people keep classing it as 1998. But yeah, don't be put off by the animation style. I mean, it's sort of like the same as watching Trigun or Seer Experiments Lane or Cowboy Bebop. All came around the same year, except I think this came out in 97, as it says there, but advertised as 98. Really, really good film. Give it a go. If you're squeamish about blood and gore, don't watch it. If you don't like seeing someone being raped, she wasn't like raped purposely. It was just part of the film. Like, loads of films have that, but I haven't seen many of them because I don't enjoy watching rape scenes in films personally. But yeah, she wasn't raped as such. It was just it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's just part of the acting. She didn't want to be a singer, pop idol anymore. She wanted to be an actress, and unfortunately, the only way she could become one was to do a role that she wasn't entirely comfortable with. But as a father, I think, not a parent, because you don't really see her parents. She lives in an apartment on her own. But the people that are her managers and stuff, or whatever, the guy and the girl who's more closer to her, but then some reason turns psycho at the end. But yeah, it's really good. The picture I'm about to show now, this scene here, which I've showed you already, and then there's also a lamppost scene where the sort of spirit version of Mima, or the alter ego pop idol version of Mima, is going on the lamppost. Like I said, I love the way they made it glow. The way she jumps, she sort of hops, she doesn't run, she jumps and hops and then giggles and shit. That really creeped me out the first time I watched it. I think I was like not 90, I think I was either 19 or 20 maybe when I first watched this film. Probably 20, like early 20. But it was, yeah, really creepy. I've already told you Paprika had a certain scene when she's hopping and skipping over the zebra crossing, which probably got it from this film. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When Mima, she comes a lot in this film. Jesus Christ. The times that she's always talking to herself and talking to the alter ego of herself. It's just very creepy. Very creepy. But yeah, there's a scene where a guy comes out in the elevator. I think his eyes are gouged out or something. That's a very gory scene in this. It's very confusing. But to me, it was just all part of the acting. In my opinion, I'm going to come out of it now. Perfect Blue, her entire life was all just part of an act. It was just all part of... It was her own personal film, let's say. Her taking a role, doing the rape scene, was all part of a film. All of that, to me, all her life, when you see her in her room, you see her getting comments on a social media page, which is weird because you're watching it on like a really crappy computer. The old glass screens. But yeah, it's like Seer Experiments Lane. They show like what it was like back in those times with like, the little folders and stuff you'd open up, and oh, it's funny. But yeah, she doesn't even know how to work her computer. She has to get her, I think one of her managers, the lady, to do it for her. But then someone's made the page for her. She didn't make the page. I think there's a fan page or something. And the stalker is in charge, pretending to be her. But she's like, no, it's not me. I'm not saying these things. But it's the stalker that's doing it. But then again, to me, the stalker never existed. He was just part of like a film that we're watching, that he was part of her film, let's say. I don't think anything in this film was her life. I think it was just a portrayal of her life through theatre, through film. But you understand at the very, very end, because when she's being stalked by this guy, and at the very end, when she kills him, but she doesn't kill him, and everyone starts clapping, why they start, clapping a woman brutally killing a guy with I think she stabs him. I can't remember. She knocks him out and then stabs him because he tries grabbing hold of her. I think he tries groping her at one point. It's the really weird guy with like the crooked eye and the weird grin. But yeah, to me, none of it happened. Everything you watch in the film is all part of an act. It's all just a film that she was making for the audience. And even at the very end of the film, she looks in the wind mirror of her car and, as if to say, well, that's my life. But it was very, very clever done. I really, really enjoyed this film. There wasn't any dull moments to it, but the way Millennium Actress was put together, it just outshined this film. But Perfect Blue, horror-wise, will be the #1 horror anime that ever existed. Perfect Blue takes the runner-up spot. You knew it was coming. The #1 spot, Millennium Actress. I think it's going for like over 20 quid now on Blu-ray. I think I got it for like £6.50 or something, like £5 with like 150 bid, because no one else bidded. So I was lucky to get this. But yeah, look, that's the many forms of her. Like Paprika, she changes Paprika and Millennium Actress. Holy marshmallows. The similarities between these films is just incredible. It's like watching a clone, except this is the best and this is the worst from my opinion. But Millennium Actress was just engaging the entire time. She's running and she's in like a native Indian thing or whatever. Is she? I think there's a scene that's sort of like that. There's also a scene where she's in outer space, she's in school, she's... all of them look very similar. But, yeah, I loved the music track to, there's the scene where she's on the horse. The scene where she's on the horse and the music in the background is just playing. Oh, I was watching a guy, yes, come on, kick in music, go, do your work, do your job. It was just, wow. Oh my God, it put everything together perfectly. I love this film to bits. This is probably in my top 3. The most favourite film I ever watched was, I've already done an unboxing of it, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Wow. Outshines Vampire Hunter D 1985 by miles. The voice acting was brilliant. Oh, I'm not talking about the voice acting was brilliant. For Bloodlust I'm talking about. But I think the dub of Bloodlust, the English dub, came out before the Japanese version, which is funny, seeing as if you actually buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, I'm pretty sure that you're only going to get the English version. I don't think you'll be able to watch the Japanese version, because on my version, on the collector's edition, you've only got the English version. So if the Japanese version came first, you'd have both versions, but yeah, I only have the English version, which is weird. But yeah, #1 film, Bloodlust. This is... I can't remember my #2 film, but this is my #3 film of all time. It's so engaging. It's a lady talking about her life stories. 2 guys come round to speak to her because one of the guys was a huge fan of her. The other guy is just there to record it all. But this guy here, I believe, he goes through all her adventures with her. Obviously, he was, I think, a young man at the time when she was doing all her acting. But I think she was in her 30s at the time and he was a young man, like, watching her. But he was at one of her conferences or something. But wow, this film was beautiful. It was so amazing. It's a story about a girl who meets a guy that's on the run, and then the entire film she's trying to find him again. I can't remember if she does or not. But wow, the scenes where she's running and then the next scene quickly changes and she's a different character. And then it changes again and she's another character. It's like all the films she was in portrayed, brought to life. It's just, oh wow. I loved every moment of this film. It was like, what was it? If this Perfect Blue came out in 97, this came out 3 years afterwards. This came out, I think, 2000, did it come out? This came out in, 2001. Okay. This film came out after Bloodlust, but wow. Oh my god, I can't explain how good this film was. The animation was beautiful, and Blu-ray it's spectacular. The scenes where they change from one character to the other. You're watching it going, okay, she's in a jungle. Oh crap, now she's in sort of a war scene. Oh crap, there's fire going on. Jesus, some buildings burning down. Damn, what's happening now? It's just, oh my god, it was so good. This film, I was watching Perfect Blue again just to see if I could, change my mind, but I couldn't. This film was amazing, and I will watch it again one day, very soon. I'll make it my number one priority to watch this before the end of 2021. This film, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this film and then you watch all his other films, I really hope you make this your number one film of all time. Number one Satoshi Kon film of all time, or his number one legacy that he ever made of all time. Because Perfect Blue to me was good, but Millennium Actress was better. Yeah, that's it really. I really, really hope you enjoyed this unboxing. I hope you enjoyed every single thing about it, because I put, a lot of effort into it, really. Not much, but then again, quite a lot. But yeah, give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me what film you thought was the best, what film you thought was the worst, what could have been better. But when you think about it, Satoshi Kon was amazing. He was a master of what he did. He also did a film, before he did animation, he did a weird film. It's like a horror film from 1992, which is only in Japanese. So when he started off his career, it wasn't anime, it was something else. If you look at Satoshi Kon's works, you'll get all this come up. You'll get Dreaming Machine, which was never released. You'll get Memories flash up, because he was a co-writer for Stink Bomb, one of the stories in that film. And then, you get this random thing that came out in 92 of some guy screaming. I don't think that film was very good, because it tend to get a lot of bad reviews on the internet. But yeah, Satoshi Kon is anime man. He is the godfather of anime when it comes to making films. He is up there with the guy who, not Isaho Takahata, is it? The guy who made Grave of the Fireflies. I'm talking about the other guy. I can't even remember his name now. Who did he did all these films like My Neighbor Totoro. What's his name? Can't remember his name. But I can't believe I've forgotten his name. It's so famous. But he's the daddy of Studio Ghibli. And Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away is actually the second grossing film of all time, just below, just below Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, which just blew up. I think it took a year to get to number one spot. Well, I think it took less than that, actually. But Spirited Away is still giving it a run for its money. But I take it Spirited Away will then get another theatre release or cinema release, Endgame got an extra release just so they could beat Avatar, in the box office. Endgame will be the number one highest grossing film of all time, and Mugen Train Goblins Demon Slayer will one day be beaten, like Despacito was beaten by Baby Shark. Oh, that's so funny. But yes, watch this film. Please watch this film. You can watch them in order like I did. I watched Perfect Blue first. No, I didn't. I watched Paranoia Agent first back in the day on DVD. But you can't count it as a series. I can sort of get away with that. But watch Perfect Blue, then Millennium Actress, then Tokyo Godfathers. Where is it? There it is. So you watch Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paranoia Agent, then Paprika, and you'll see the way the animation changes. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing / review of all of Satoshi Kon's works. It's coming up to 50 minutes now, damn. But yeah, thank you Satoshi Kon for all you've done. You are a master of what you did. You will be sorely missed. Rest in peace. Thank you for watching. Flying Halucha, Shibabai.